The best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
That Coldplay? Nice. Oh, the dulcet sounds of Chris Martin. And yet the best lyrics he ever said were, either those people are super shy or they're having an affair. Boom. Nailed it.
It was door number 2.
All right, there you go. Okay. Welcome back to the program, by the way. One of the most weird Thursdays we've ever had.
I think he should win a Grammy for that.
You know what? That the hopefully ex-wife of the CEO guy needs to send Chris Martin some flowers, because look, the alternative is this ruse could have been going on still today, forever. I don't know how long. But my favorite part is he put a statement out, and we had to go and verify if it was a true statement because it was that insane. And there we are. It's a real statement. So there you go. What'd you call him before, JJ?
A piece of crap.
Ah, there you go. All right.
Can I say that on the radio?
Yeah. Joining us on the program, decidedly a good person.
Not a piece of crap.
Yeah. That's, you know what? New title.
That's how we introduce you.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL5 TV, sports anchor, not a piece of crap. Joining the program. What's going on, Sam?
Hey guys, what's happening? Hey, you know what? Did you see the? I saw a post that Coldplay put out today saying, "Hey, for now on, we're going to have a section where no cameras will be. So if you need to bring your side piece, you can sit there."
Ridiculous. Yeah. No, it was supposed to be a private moment at this 45,000 seat stadium. How dare you? Sam. Well, how was Vegas, man? What were the vibes at Mountain West Media Days? It's was it as awkward as I feel like it could have been? I mean, short of Diana Sabo not being there, I guess I would assume she was not there.
She call in sick today?
just the awkwardness of what Gloria Nevarez is having to kind of march through that weird minefield of all these teams that are leaving, all the litigation, and that's the backdrop to all of this stuff that's going on, because the coaches and the players don't want to talk about it. But is there a vibe of, man, this is weird?
There is, right? There's still kind of that familiarity that, hey, this is the Mountain West Conference. There's Boise State, there's Colorado State, there's Utah State, San Diego State, all these teams that are eventually moving on, but you still see all their logos up everywhere. You still have a feeling that this conference is going to produce a, college football playoff contender and participant again like they did last year and all that. But yeah, going back to even yesterday's opening remarks to start off media days with Gloria Nevarez speaking to the press, she was highlighting all of the great things that Mountain West has done over the years, and she brought up the $98 million in revenue they made last year, which was a record for the conference based off of Boise State going to the playoffs and the multiple teams they had in the NCAA tournament. And I'm just looking at the list of those teams. I'm like, all those teams are moving on. You're highlighting all of these things that are no longer really a part of your conference anymore. And yeah, that feels kind of strange, because where do you go from here with UNLV and Air Force as your flagship programs now moving forward, right? Is this really a conference that's going to be relevant moving forward? It's kind of hard to say at this point, but as of today, I think they're trying to highlight the fact that they still have one more year of this conference as is. That is a conference that will contend for, multiple NCAA tournament spots and will contend for a spot in the college football playoff.
Yeah, Air Force, UNLV, and New Mexico will be the last original members of the Mountain West left after this season, which is pretty crazy when we think about it and how much of an impact the Mountain West Conference has had on this state's history when it comes to sports. But again, Boise State is picked to win the conference 15 straight years, and it's easy to see why. But they don't have an All-American running back this year. Is there somebody in this league that can beat them?
Look, maybe I'm drinking a little too much blue water from Logan, and I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think Utah State's going to be a lot better than ninth, and I think they're going to put pressure on some of these top teams just based off of what we already know about Bronco and his track record of being able to turn programs around. But just the vibe I even got when I was talking to Bryson yesterday morning, talking to him about leading this program. And he's like, you know what? No one out there knows what we have except for us. He's like, no one out there knows. No one's seen any of our practices, which is true. They didn't release any video from spring practice. Not even us have seen any of their practices, right? But no one's seen their practices. No one has seen what they're installing up there in Logan. And they seem really confident that they're going to be a pretty darn good team this year. Boise State, they're still going to be the front runner, and it's going to be hard to knock them off. But is Utah State a championship contender? I don't think so, but I think they're going to be a bowl contending team for sure, and I think they could be a top 4 team in this conference.
I do know that I noticed that Bronco, and we're going to have some of this conversation play next hour, when he was talking about Devin Dampier, and when he was like, immediately when he got to New Mexico, he's like, I didn't know who Devin Dampier was, but when he got there, and they were asking like, how good is our quarterback? He was like, "Oh, we're gonna win. We're gonna win some games here. He is going to beat very, very good teams by himself, basically." But I think you kind of get the same type of a vibe from Bryson Barnes at Utah State. He's walking into a very similar quarterback situation.
Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of what Bronco even alluded to, is that Bryson gives him a lot of those same vibes and same feelings that he had when he first saw Devin Dampier on campus down in New Mexico, and he said, admittedly that he was a little more familiar with Bryson, just kind of knowing his high school background a little bit and seeing some of the games that he had played at the University of Utah. And I've seen on social media some of the fans out there saying, well, shoot, if he's comparing Devin Dampier to Bryce, people are flipping it, right? Devin Dampier to Bryson Barnes. Utah fans remember Bryson's struggles at the U. And so people are trying to flip it, saying, well, that means Devin's going to struggle at the U. No, you're getting it wrong. Like what Bronco is really clearly saying is that he has a very talented dual threat quarterback on a team that can lead them. And not only that, but Bronco said that that Bryson is kind of cut from the same mold as him, right? A guy who, Bronco comes in with that work ethic, that coaching approach that we're all familiar with. He basically says that Bryson was kind of cut from that mold, and so he doesn't have to kind of instill those same traits into his quarterback, because he's already got them all from a leadership standpoint, and he totally expects Bryson to go out there and lead and to be very successful this year. And it's kind of funny. He was also saying he needs to go out to all the pig farms in the Midwest to start looking for his quarterbacks too, because he's like, if that's where we're going to find guys like this, then that's where I need to go.
Yeah, you look at Bronco Mendenhall. We know who Coach Mendenhall is. There's no doubt about that. We know who Bryson Barnes is because we saw him at Utah. But as you mentioned, we don't know anything else about the Aggies. I couldn't tell you who their starting receivers are. Right. I don't know who's their offense. We know nothing. What did you learn over the last 2 days about Utah State that you can share? Because there's just not a lot of information about what they are and what they have.
Right. Exactly. And I didn't learn a lot because of how close to the vest he keeps things. I asked Bronco about that, though. I mean, you've got a roster with 87 new players coming in. These, that is unheard of, right? I mean, I guess it's becoming more common, but still 87 is a massive number for a roster that's probably close to 110, 115 or so that he's probably got up there. And shoot, that's just such a huge turnaround. And yet he said that everyone is buying in, already through this spring practice. Everyone's buying into what he and his coaching staff are trying to instill. He spoke very highly of his offensive coordinator, Kevin McGibbon, he's in the past coached at Utah State, as an assistant coach and coordinator. He was at San Jose State with Ken Niumatalolo last year.
Isn't he a Mountain View High School guy? Isn't he from Orem like you?
Yes, he is. NBHS the best, baby. Yeah.
There's a drop.
But he is. And the thing is, like, I was talking to Ken Niumatalolo today about Kevin McGibbon too, and he just raved. He's like, I came into a program at San Jose State where Kevin was already there as an offensive coordinator, or where they averaged 30 points a game. He's like, I didn't hire him as my offensive coordinator because I run a different offense, but I kept him on my staff because he's brilliant. And he said he is going to be one of the top coordinators in the country this year for Bronco Mendenhall. So, there's a little something to get Utah State fans excited about, is this offense with Bryson, with Coach McGibbon on the calling the shots as an offensive coordinator under the leadership of Bronco Mendenhall. I think there's a lot to be excited about, even though, like you said, Jeremiah, there's so much we don't know about this team, which I think kind of makes it exciting too, right? Coming into what we do know, Bronco and Bryson, to everything else we don't know, how is it going to come together, and what is it going to provide on the football field on Saturdays this fall?
Bronco comes in, and obviously he has a track record of showing up places, and he inspires young people pretty quickly. And everybody, I think, anticipates that Logan is kind of a perfect place for him. Obviously, they wanted to be back here in Utah. But they are doing this thing where they're throwing the barbed wire up around the facility and kind of going full private. And he kind of chuckled about it. But what kind of an advantage does that give him? Like they need to have some visibility as a program, and I know that's a tough thing to do when you're asking Bronco Mendenhall to try to be like the biggest PR person for your program, and he doesn't love doing that in the first place.
Yeah, especially in Logan, right, where there's kind of more of that, Cache Valley against the world type feeling, right? They're a community. They are like a greater family, and if you're going to shut out your own little community, then you're going to build up walls and build potential enemies. I don't think that's going to happen with Bronco. I think it's mostly because he doesn't totally know everything he has right away. He doesn't want to disclose anything yet until he figures it out. But he did talk about being in Cache Valley and how he said he didn't think he was going to love the valley as much as he's fallen in love with it. And he alluded to the fact that he plans to stick around for a while. He wants to bring stability to the Utah State football program through, leadership and winning football games. And he even mentioned healing. He said, that would also come with maybe a little bit of healing. And I think he's alluding to, maybe some of the difficulties that program has gone through over the past year plus, right? And so I think the plan is there to really include the community and kind of pull them all in together. But yeah, right now the barbed wire's up. He's not gonna reveal a whole lot until we get to that first game to start the season.
Well, the barbed wire's up, and he doesn't have a boss. There's no university president. There's no athletic director. I think there was a report today that Gary Anderson might help out temporarily with the athletic director situation. I'm sure you've talked to people down there. What's the buzz on that, and how long is this going to take them to find somebody to take up that role that Diana Sabo's leaving?
I think it's going to take some time. Just based off of the few people I spoke with, it doesn't seem like they have any one candidate they've already zeroed in on that they really like, that they want to target and pursue to bring in. I think it's more about finding the right fit for the community, of someone that can also bring stability to the program. Bronco said that the relationship between a head coach and an athletic director and an assistant athletic director, he said that's an important relationship in helping kind of develop your program. He said, but even more important, the most important relationship for him to be able to succeed as a football coach in a football program is between him, his staff, and the players. So not having an athletic director right away, from a football standpoint at least, I don't think it's going to affect much, if anything at all, because, the approach Bronco's taken is like, okay, well, that relationship, that's one that'll come eventually. The relationship I need to focus on right now is the one that I've got with my football family. If I want to win games and be successful there, then that's the relationship I need to build up. So he's not that concerned with a timeline to find a new athletic director up there on campus, although it's got to be high on the priority list for Utah State, though.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL5 TV. I'm not going to go with the new title because that was
come on.
Decidedly,
you just gave me a new title.
Not a crappy person.
Not a piece of garbage.
Not a piece of crap.
That's going to be. I want when we do KSL Sports Live on Sunday with me and Jeremiah.
You better have it in the super.
It's going to say Jeremiah Jensen, sports anchor. Sam Farnsworth, not a crappy person.
I'm Jeremiah Jensen, and I'm not a piece of crap. Thanks for watching.
If that's not on the Chiron, I'm going to be pissed. And
it'll be there.
Hey, you know what though? Your producers would do it in a heartbeat.
Old Matt will slip it in. Don't worry. Matt Glade's got that.
So
I'll see to it.
Talk a little bit about what the schedule looks like for Utah State and how they get to a spot. Like, what's an anticipation? You talked about being better than ninth. I told JJ that yesterday. I go, well, come on, they got to be at least better than ninth. But what's an expectation? Is it getting to a bowl game? Is it the kind of thing where you want to finish in the top quarter of the conference? I mean, certainly when Boise State is top dog in the conference as they usually are, but they're obviously not going to have that type of a running back in the backfield. You just get that once in a generation. But what is an expectation then wins wise, and how difficult is the schedule for the Aggies?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, from a media standpoint, we'll put some expectations. We'll put predictions out there every now and then. I don't know that and maybe I should have been a little more clear with the way I asked Bronco for his expectation level, but I don't know that they put a number of wins on the season, right? And when you look at the schedule, they're going to play at Kyle Field this year, so that's obviously right. You know what I mean? So it's like there's anything can happen, but there are scheduled losses on there.
Yeah, I was going to say they've played at tougher SEC venues though than Kyle Field.
Right.
Come on.
Right. That's trtrue. They have in the past, and. But when you look at the schedule from a conference standpoint, I think they've got Vanderbilt on the road too, from also the SEC, yes. But that's Vandy. But still, it's SEC country. There's a lot that goes into that, But you bring Air Force into Logan. New Mexico. Oh, that's the big one. I think the big game is New Mexico on the road, and Bronco even talked about it. He is not looking forward to that. He mentioned. Do you guys remember when he left?
Oh yeah.
When he left
he
BYU,
made sure.
He
basically said he was never and
and then
he
they
did
ended up having
this
series with Virginia, and he had to come back.
Yeah, and that was a game that BYU hung 66 on him, I think. But it's not like they didn't score either. Right. I think they had Brendan Armstrong at that point. They still scored 50.
That was one of the most exciting games at LaVell Edwards Stadium in a long time.
It was like 1,300 total yards of offense.
Fun.
But yeah, Bronco was like, because they were in Independence. He kind of was like, I'm not going to, no, we're not doing, no. I'm not ever playing back there again. I never want to go back there. Not because he hated it, but because he does feel like this weird, violating like his former, going back and stabbing somebody in the back or something like that. But the schedule is what it is in the Mountain West. You can't do anything about it.
Well, he even said that even though there was that much distance between the time he left and the time that he returned with Virginia, that it still sucked for him to come back and have to play his former team, just because he didn't want to be in that position. And think of this: even though it was only 1 year in New Mexico, going back down, he said that he totally expects there to be very mixed emotions and narratives when he gets down there. He probably expects there to be people that are not happy with him for the way he just kind of showed up and left town. But he's like, but it is what it is. He's got to go down there and play. And he says he hopes by the time that game comes, it's about the team and not about him returning, but about the team. And how does he get his team focused for that game? But I think that is the one game that you really kind of circle on a schedule this year for Utah State. But I do think a 6-win season is not out of reach for this Utah State team to become a bowl-eligible football team. And, maybe that comes down to the final game of the year, which is Boise State on your home field. And you could maybe play a little role of upset here as well for, maybe knock Boise State down a notch, depending on where they're at too. But I look at some of the players that we know that are on the roster with Bryson, with Ike Larson on the defensive side, with Bronco coming into town. It just kind of feels like 6 wins is very doable for this football team, but and getting to a bowl game, and I would call that a great success for year one.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL5 TV, soon to be named something else on KSL5 television this weekend.
Not a piece of crap.
Good for you, Sam. You know what? That's the bare minimum these days. Just, hey, that's it. That's all we need to know. Sam, we appreciate it. Safe travels back to Salt Lake, and we'll chat with you again when you come back.
All right. Right on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sam.
There you go. Sam Farnsworth, everybody.
We're going to put it in the Chiron and everything. On your TV, you have the Sam Farnsworth underneath it. Instead of saying Sportsnet, we're going to have Matt put not a piece of crap.
Is this a picture of us ducking away from the Oh, no.
That was just what that is.
I know what that is. I was just showing JJ the...
Tell people what that is.
Okay.
Because we're already updating people on the Coldplay situation.
So, listen. So... That is JJ's face. If you go, we got to tweet this out. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take this picture. Or JJ, while I'm talking to you tweet it out. I'll retweet it. But I was showing this is more tea on the Coldplay CEO or the Coldplay concert where the astronomer CEO was found cheating on his wife. I love how I have to give a descriptor every time we bring this up. Like, come on. Everybody knows what this is. This might be the most important piece of news that's ever hit the world, I feel like, as of today.
It's the story of the year.
JJ's face is me showing him the computer. You know what? You don't even know the context either. I was showing him, I found the wife's Instagram. Don't act like you guys don't do the same freaking thing, by the way, okay?
He's hosting a show and he found the wife's Instagram at the same time.
Okay, it's fine because it was all part of the context.
Multitasking.
I know. So I found her Instagram. She has no posts, but she did have a story up. Okay, no posts on her Instagram page. This is the wife of the guy who was caught cheating. the one who took her last name, I'm assuming her old last name at some point is going to be. By the way, betting houses have a lot. You can actually bet on whether or not they're going to get divorced. That's how wild this is now in the world. All right.
Jeez.
And she has one story posted, and the story that the wife posted is just the screenshot of those two up on the Jumbotron.
Embracing each other.
That is her story. And that's your face right there.
See? You did the same thing I did.
All she did, she's only posted one story in the history of her Instagram.
That's all that's on there.
It's all that's on there is a screenshot of
her husband cheating on her.
Of the husband at the thing. So, not that she would need to save that for a lawyer in the future. I think we've got it on tape now. But that's the tea. That's where we've gotten on this program. All right? And that's JJ's face when I showed it to him. It was your face, too. Don't act like it wasn't the same, all right? I was like, look at this. And then JJ has the most. Your face, we got to tweet that out. I cannot wait. All right. We'll take a break right here. We'll come back. We've got more to go around the corner. Our show brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. And Sam's appearance was brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith family of dealerships. Doug Smith in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. We'll come back. More to go right around the corner. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time.
All season long and even in the off season. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Some of my best, that's one of my favorite moments ever from you, JJ, was the genuine reaction to the tea being spilled.
You forget I'm on camera here.
I mean, that was as good
Funny,
of a reaction
TV
as
guy
you could
forgets he's on camera.
Ow.
What an idiot.
We don't. No. It was as genuine as a reaction as you could have gotten. And we had Sam Farnsworth on the line living through it with us, and so that was the best part about it. By the way, if you miss any portion of our show, you can always go back, take a listen on the podcast page on KSLSports.com, or just download the podcast wherever you find podcasts. Let me see here, JJ. It's a special time of the day for us. It's a special thing that we do every week. It is our youth sports volunteer that we honor every week, part of our Hercules Hero of the Week, brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. What we do is we take those nominations that you send, and then we make sure and we highlight that person, and then we get them a prize courtesy of Hercules and Beehive Meals. Here's what this week's nomination sounds like. First of all, the winner is Jan Roberts. Here's what Jan Roberts' nomination sounded like. A young boy called his grandma and said, "Grandma, I really want to play baseball again, but I only want to play if you're my coach." He didn't have a great coach the year before and was thinking about quitting. His grandma agreed to coach, and their team ended up taking 5th out of 16 teams, and they're now going to state. I really appreciate that Grandma made a big sacrifice and feels that she deserves to be noticed. Let's go, Saratoga Braves. You can do this. Jan Roberts is your winner. I'm assuming that Jan is the grandma in the story. Is that right? I'm assuming. Isn't that cool to be able to have a story like that? To be able to say, first of all, to have a grandkid call up and say, "Grandma, I need you to come out of baseball coaching retirement. We need you to come coach us," and to have that awesome type of a result. But on top of the fact that they spend the time, if you have a youth sports volunteer in your area that you want to highlight with the Hercules Hero of the Week award, you can honor them like Jan Roberts is being honored this week. They win a prize from Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals, and you become the Hercules Hero of the Week. Thank you so much, Jan Roberts. And Corey, thank you for your nomination of Jan Roberts, our winner of this week's Hercules Hero of the Week. JJ, Cody Williams scored 23 points, led the Jazz to a victory down in Vegas, their first one down at the Vegas Summer League.
Finally.
Shut him down! No, come on. You got to do better than that if you want to get shut down.
Somebody's got to play.
I love how that's like a new thing. Like if you want to be, if you're basically going to get named to the Summer League All-Star team, you have to get shut down first. And the really good guys are the ones who didn't even have to play at all in Vegas Summer League because they saw enough in Salt Lake. Ace Bailey, don't see it. We didn't see a minute from Ace Bailey in Vegas, right?
No.
Not one.
Nope.
So
to keep with the theme, if you don't get shut down in Vegas, you're a piece of crap.
I can't believe you. But Cody Williams, look, I know it's Vegas. Tell me some things that I should be excited about the possibility of a turnaround in year 2 for Cody Williams.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the Jazz were really excited about taking him at 10 last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know many people that were like, oh, what are you kidding? Why? That's a terrible pick. We were all kind of like, yeah, his brother's really good. He had moments at Colorado. You all knew that he was young and that he was still small in stature and frame. You know, he had a lot of growth that needed to happen. So there was going to be patience with Cody. Nobody expected Cody to be gangbusters last year, but the truth is he was really, really bad as a rookie, like historically bad. And it was very concerning. You expected him to be, have those rookie moments, but you didn't expect it to be that bad, especially by the end. By the end of the season, it's like, I'm really concerned about this kid. I don't know if he's an NBA player. So there was some doubt that crept in. The Jazz took a lot of heat for it, I think, and because there were some good players taken after him in that draft. That, by the way, that draft was not good, right? I mean, your rookie of the year was the fourth pick.
Yep.
And it wasn't a great draft. But Cody Williams, I think it's going to take him a minute, and he's got time. You're in the perfect situation to grow and progress at whatever rate is required of him. He's still young. Was he barely 20 years old? And so in Summer League, you wanted to see something from him that gave you hope. Something from him that would give you hope that there was going to be a possibility of him becoming what you'd think a 10th pick would be. And now, again, you don't expect not every 10th or 11th pick is going to turn into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or his brother. His brother was an 11th or 12th pick? Okay?
Yeah.
Cody was taken higher than Jalen. And Jalen is now an all-star.
Right.
And a world champion.
And a max deal guy now, yes.
Okay, so is Cody going to be his brother? Probably not, but he can also be a good rotational piece for you. And with the 10th pick, that's usually what you get there. And so there's no reason. It's not like Cody was taken number 1 or number 2 overall, and people got to be like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe the Jazz did that. So there's some patience with him to grow and develop. Have you seen enough from Summer League to give you hope that he's still got a chance to become that good, solid rotational piece? Absolutely, because there's so much about him that you like. You like the length. You like the athleticism. I really like how he has the ability to get into passing lanes and cause a lot of havoc. I like that he's a two-way player. He can defend. He's got to get better offensively. He's got to become more consistent. But what is he doing in Summer League? 23 points last night.
Yeah.
You need Cody Williams last night with the roster they had available to be the best player on the floor. And I honestly think you can look at it and say, yeah, he was. He was the best player in that game last night. And so from that standpoint, I feel good about Cody Williams. Just like Kyle Filipowski, we've been blown away by his Summer League performance. Now, being great in Summer League doesn't guarantee you anything, but you got to be good. You got to be good. You're an NBA player. You're essentially playing with G League guys at this point. You need to be the best player on the floor, and it was a good sign that last night Cody Williams was.
Portland's draft pick, the Hansen guy, who was in the crowd famously.
Yeah, Yang Hansen, yeah.
Yang Hansen. Tell me like what the reality is. Is this like, because we kind of got excited about Taco Fall at one point too, like when he was in Summer League for the but he also wasn't a first round draft pick. He also wasn't because what was Hansen? What was he?
Middle
what number
of the
was
first
it?
round.
Yeah, it was like 14, 15, 16 around there somewhere.
Yeah, it's
but he's
it's not like they took him 4th overall or something like that, right?
But it was definitely like 30 picks higher than what most people thought he was going to do. But he's kind of an elite passer, and he's got good vision. I don't know what he actually brings. Is that one of those guys that like we're going to hear about him right now because he's kind of a superstar in the Summer League for the Trailblazers? But what is the reality there?
Well, I think there's some intrigue there because, by the way, he was the number 16th pick, trade with the Grizzlies. The Blazers go get him. There was Walter Clayton Jr. on the board, Nolan Traore.
Yep.
Yakachonis, the point guard with Illinois. He was on the board. Asa Newell, Dean Clifford, Jace Richardson. There were some good players on the board. And so when the Trailblazers took Yang Hansen, everyone's like, what are they doing? Who is this guy? We don't even know who this is.
He was like finishing
a hot dog. You know why you
dog.
don't know who he is? Because he played in China.
Yeah.
And how many people are scouting China? Well, apparently the Blazers were. And you know what? If you watch the Summer League stuff, you're like, maybe the Blazers know something that nobody else did.
Smooth passing.
And you have to give them credit for that. Time will tell on that, but the early returns from Summer League are like, You know what? Maybe they weren't drunk when they made that pick. Maybe they knew what they were doing. He's 7'1", 249, and he seriously reminds me of Jokic, but he's taller. He's only 19.
Yeah, so you got a lot of development you could do.
But you're like, okay, now you can see what the Blazers were doing there, and you can say, okay, maybe the Blazers deserve credit here for doing the scouting and doing the work and knowing who this guy was when most of the other teams had no idea who he was, to be quite honest.
Okay.
Most of the draft experts didn't even know who he was. The experts, like, what are they doing? Who is this guy? Well,
he
now
was
you know.
He was there at the draft, but he also wasn't anticipating getting picked right then. I don't think.
No,
like I said, he was
wasn't
in the crowd.
he way in deep in the crowd? He wasn't at a table.
And he was like eating a hot dog. He's like finishing dinner. He's like, I wanted to kind of sneak off and have a private hot dog. Hey, how dare you invade this private moment with this hot dog that I was having in the crowd and draft me right then? I'm suing the Portland Trailblazers. How dare they? This is supposed to be a private moment while I was eating my hot dog.
He got caught.
You got me. All right. We'll take a break here. When we return, we have I've got an interesting top 10 here for you.
Fun.
So you don't want to miss it. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial!
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Chris Martin, you're a treasure. They should have because I can't get enough of this story. The internet can't either. I'm not the only person that's obsessed with all this, right?
No,
It has become...
It's incredible that was
captured. We all
captured.
talked about it. I don't know how, but the algorithm hit perfect today on everybody. It nailed everybody's social media immediately today. And everyone had the same reaction, which was, is this old news? Is this something I just missed in the past? Maybe got something from 4 weeks ago and it's just now kind of hitting your feed. Nope. The most important thing that ever happened in the history of Instagram happened last night when at a Coldplay concert in Boston, a tech CEO was hugging his affair and got
his
caught.
His mistress.
He got caught by Chris Martin.
Who's the HR person at his company.
Couldn't get better.
Ooh.
In a statement from when they first hired her, she said, I don't view myself as an HR person. I see myself as a people person. You know what? We agree.
She is very, very friendly.
And you are not an HR person, I'll tell you that.
Oh, the irony of your HR person sleeping with the CEO.
Yeah.
The irony.
It's just gotten better all day with the release of the statement, all that.
She's going to have an awkward meeting with herself on Friday morning.
Hi, could you come in at 9 o'clock? For what? Address a couple things. No problem. Let me see here. Welcome back to the show. You can win big this Friday. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, seriously.
Bring your laptop. Why? What do you want to meet about? Just going to go over some social media strategies. You can win big tomorrow on our Free Ticket Fridays. You can win tickets to Dierks Bentley all day long tomorrow. All the shows, we're going to be giving away tickets. Broken Branches Tour coming to Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater on July 31st. Don't miss it. Get tickets now at livenation.com or just win them tomorrow across the entire station. Our top 10. We were going to do a top 10 Coldplay songs, but I decided against it. All right. Number one, because I could come up with maybe 6, and I don't think I'd have any more after that. But here we are. JJ, I saw a very strange. So a couple things happened today. One, I was watching this thing, and I don't know what popped up. It was one of these road rage videos popped up, and I went, man, don't ever be that person. You don't want to be that guy. I can get upset on the road sometimes, but I had a moment years ago where my wife was like, this is part of your personality that needs to change. And I was like, you know what? You're probably right. Getting upset on the road is not a personality trait that you want. Okay.
No.
But we've had issues with it here in the state of Utah. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
We've had real problems.
Serious problems.
Today, a survey was released for the top 10 friendliest states for driving. Top 10 friendliest states for driving. Our producer Alex has got to play along here too. All right, you got 50 to choose from, and you got 60 seconds to do it. So you give me the top 10 friendliest driving. Now here are let me give you the criteria. Driver behavior rankings that they came up with were based off of fatalities, DUIs, and also it was kind of driving in general, but it was also kind of reported road rage incidents, that kind of thing. So without further ado, let's hit the timer. Let's get your top 10 friendliest states for driving. On your mark, get set, go.
Hawaii.
Ding.
Arizona.
Ooh.
Oregon. Nebraska. Mississippi. Florida. Texas.
Minnesota.
Wisconsin. Illinois.
You guys.
Montana.
Kansas.
Utah.
Ding.
Oh, hey! Idaho.
Ding.
Hey! Washington.
Hold on. Ding.
New Mexico. Arkansas. There's pieces of crap in Arkansas.
Alaska.
Ding.
Maine.
Ding.
Hey! New Hampshire.
Ding.
Vermont.
Ding.
Massachusetts.
Ding.
Hey! Rhode Island. New York.
Definitely not.
Oh, it's not Pennsylvania either. I promise you that. Delaware. Hey, we're in Delaware.
Yeah.
Georgia. North Carolina.
That's time. I think you guys may have gotten them all. Hold on. I think you got them all.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think you guys ended up getting them all.
Probably missed Indiana.
Number 10 is Maine. So the Northeast showed up pretty big. So they had a little streak here.
I think it's all the covered bridges.
Yeah, Maine. It's just beautiful that time. I just love the 4 seasons that I get out there. It's just wonderful. Number 10 is Maine. Number 9 is Vermont. Number 8, New Hampshire. Number 7 is Utah.
We probably used to be number 1, folks.
My favorite part about this study, my favorite part about this state, Alex
know,
has
right?
been our producer Alex has been on the roads too much. So he's like, nah, this anecdotal evidence is we are not good. But my favorite part about the survey was a little better than Massachusetts. That should be our new slogan in the state of
I like
Utah.
that.
All right? A little better than Massachusetts. All
Pass
right?
that along to the governor.
Lowest fatal crash rate at 327 per million. Compared to the others. Massachusetts is 6, even though they're ahead. Utah outperformed them was outperformed in other categories. Number 5, Oregon. Number 4, Washington. Number 3, Alaska. Number 2, Hawaii. You say Hawaii?
I did. I started with Hawaii.
Yeah. And then number 1 is Idaho.
How
so
about that?
Our neighbors to the north have the best friendly drivability. Just a reminder out there, everybody. Don't need to be a piece of crap out on the road. I got to say it to myself just as much.
Hey,
right?
I got to applaud Massachusetts for finishing in the middle, despite all the birds that are flipped in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the state must have pulled the weight on that one. I've been to Boston.
Boston,
One of
Massachusetts.
the messiest driving situations.
Oh, yeah.
And people out there are
Cheating on their wives at Coldplay
a
concerts?
little cold. A little cold.
Okay. All right. There you go. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. If you missed any of the conversation they had earlier in the day with Bronco Mendenhall, we're going to replay that conversation that Hans and Scotty had at Mountain West Media Days with Utah State's new head coach, BYU's former head coach, Virginia's former coach, and, of course, now back into Utah is Coach Bronco Mendenhall. And if you missed any of that conversation, you can hear it next. He talks about all things, his quarterback that he's got now at Utah State, Devin Dampier, what he was like having in New Mexico. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.